Howdy all. This video is meant to be a general introduction to the interface for the CircleAnywhere platform, and also just to do how to kind of do basic event management. I'll also go over some of the different administration features that you'll need to be able to use as a facilitator. So this is basically what you're going to see when you first go into an event as a facilitator. Let's go over some of the basic areas. You've got this set of buttons over here, which both as a facilitator and a participant, you'll see this is audio muting yourself and video muting yourself. This opens and closes the chat window over here on the right-hand side. And then this has different settings for being able to mess with your video quality or configure yourself as a user. And then there's also a place to just look, and if there's any trouble connecting, there's a place you can go to see a list of troubleshooting steps. So everybody has those buttons there. As a facilitator, you're going to have these couple of extra controls here. This one lets you hide and show this list over here, which I'll talk about in a little bit, just to kind of make more room for the chat window. And then here's all your administrative settings. Again, we're going to go over some of these in this video, most of them. This red dot here is the sort of the status of the event. Red means it's closed. It means only facilitators can come in. Participants can't come in yet. Over here on the right, you've obviously got the chat window. And then this section, above here is where the breakouts are going to be listed. Breakouts are where people are going to go into when you do smaller groups. And then just below it is the participant list. Everybody who's connected to the main room in here is going to be listed in that section. So let's see what it looks like from the participant side of the view when the event is not open. So red means the event is not open, and this is what it looks like on the participant side. They're in what's called the waiting room. They're going to have a little timer up here that tells them how long until the event starts, and just some extra information about the event. And one thing you can do, I'm going to show you the very first feature here. If you are in the room here and you need to send them a message, like you're going to be late or something, you can actually send a message to the waiting room with this link right here, send message to waiting room, running a few minutes late. And then if you send that, you'll see in the other side for the participants in the waiting room, they're going to get that message so they know what's happening. So let's go ahead and open the event up. To do that, remember the event is closed because the dot is red. You're going to click on the menu here and select Start Event. And then the dot's going to turn green to let you know that the event has started, which means everybody can come in, and you can see the person that was waiting in the waiting room is now in the event. Now let's talk a little bit about this event list over here. It's very helpful, got some extra helpful features and information. And the first thing is you can definitely see how many people are in the event, how many facilitators in the event, just by hovering over that list. So you can see we've got one participant, one facilitator, and 2 total people. That's really nice to have when you're trying to just get a quick count of how many people are in the room. And then you also have the ability to control other people's audio and video. So over here, again, this is our participant view. You can see they don't have those lists, right? They just have the basic controls here and the chat list and the video feed. So back to the facilitator view, you can actually control their audio and video too. So if somebody's making a lot of noise, you can click their mute button here. You can also video mute them by clicking the video button. You'll see that that happens there. The other thing that's really nice is on each list there's a little gear icon. If you click on that, you've got some extra controls that you can do for each person. This one, refresh video, just refreshes their browser tab. That helps to fix some connectivity problems. Reload conference hangs them up and then has them call back in, which also helps to fix problems. And disconnecting them actually just completely boots them out of the event. The very last piece of information you'll have here is just some bandwidth statistics. This just tells you a little bit of something about if the quality of the internet connection that they have. And the basic rule is if you see anything in red, it's kind of a warning that their internet's slow and they might have some problems in the event. So let's have a look at some of these other things in the admin menu. And remember, you can open and close this just by clicking on the button here. So let's just go from the bottom up. So one of the things that has been put into the platform that's very handy is something I call hotkeys, which are keyboard shortcuts that allow you to take all these actions. And for the administrative actions, you can see they're listed right here for convenience. So it's holding down the Control and Shift key and typing whatever that other key is for each event. It actually makes it much faster to be able to handle the different things that are happening in an event if you do know the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts. So you can find them here, and then for the other stuff that also has keyboard shortcuts, you can see them by hovering over the button. So for muting your audio, it's Control Shift M, etc. They all have their own keyboard shortcuts. You can get a summary list of them all in one place by looking at the hotkeys list right here. So that's what that little thing does. For problems, for like if there's any troubleshooting problems that need to happen on the facilitator side, this facilitator quick help does give you some quick information about how to try to handle problems for people when they're connecting or if something's not quite working. Moving right along, so we've already shown you how to start an event. You can also then, when an event is over, you can stop it, and that kicks everybody out who is not a facilitator. So if we're looking here, here's our person who's just a regular participant. If I stop the event now, they're actually going to get booted out. And on this side, you can see there they go. They're back on the, they're back in the waiting room, and eventually their video is going to get gone away too. So that's starting and stopping the event. I'm going to go ahead and start it again so that they're in here. And I'd say a couple other things here before we wrap up. So locking an event basically means that from the moment that you lock it, everybody and only everybody who's in the list of participants is going to be able to join. This is sort of the virtual equivalent of what I'd call like closing the container. Let's suppose you've got 6 or 8 people in, and you're in an event, and you just feel like, okay, this group is we don't want anybody to come in and kind of break the container. You can click lock event, and you'll see the little indicator there that the event is locked, and then only the people that are on this list are going to be able to access the event from then forward. And you can also unlock it too if you want to let people back in. You just click unlock event, and you'll see the event lock signal there is no longer displayed. So the very last thing I want to talk about in this intro video is how to create the breakouts. The breakouts are that spot where you might go, if you have a room full of 20 people and you want to do a dyad exercise, you're going to create some breakouts. So there's a couple different ways to do it. And the easiest one is to create a single breakout, and you can do that by selecting this new breakout here, and then you name the breakout, and you can select how many people you want in the breakout. Click create, and you'll see here in the breakout list now you've got that breakout. You can edit the name of it if you want, right from there, and if you've made some kind of mistake or need to clear it, you can click the delete button to get rid of it. So that's creating a single breakout. Then the other way is to create, if you want to create, say you have got 10 people in a session, you want to create 5 dyads, well, it would be a bit time consuming to create them all individually like that. So you can use what's called a template. So you select new breakouts from template, and then you can pick the template you want. And this one we're going to say dyads, and then how many you want to create is in the number to create box. We'll say 5, and click create breakout, and you can see, bang, now we've got 5 dyads. And again, you can edit the titles individually if you want. You can delete them individually. And also, if you want to just delete all of them at once, like say you're wrapped up with an exercise and you want to clear them out, you can use this delete button here, which says delete all breakouts. Click that in the confirmation, and it clears them all out for you. So I think that's basically it for the main interface. I do want to show you real quick going in and out of breakouts themselves. So let's go ahead and create a new breakout very quickly. And there's a couple different ways to get in and out of the breakouts. So the first one is just opening the breakouts themselves so that people can select a breakout. And you do that by clicking the open breakouts. And that brings up the breakout list. And let's make another breakout just so we can see that there's more than one, right? So and this is from the facilitator's view. And from the participant's point of view, you've got this so they can see the breakouts too. And I'm going to go ahead and click join as a facilitator, and this is again the participant's view, and click join for them. And here we are in the breakout. Now, one of the really important things to remember is that as a facilitator in the breakout, you're still going to see the main room chat, you're still going to see the breakout list, you're still going to see the participant list. This is the facilitator view. As a participant, the only thing you're going to see is the breakout. Okay, so when people are in a breakout, when they're a participant and they're in a breakout, they can't see this main room chat. So that doesn't do you any good to be trying to get their attention in there. You actually have to go into the breakout itself if you want to talk to them. So there's a lot more to talk about moving in and out of breakouts, and I'm going to do that in another video. But this should just give you a basic idea of how to use the different controls. Oh, you know what? I'm going to show you one more real quick before we wrap up here. So again, back to the facilitator view. And let's go back into the main room where everybody starts in. There's another way to get people into breakouts, which is actually quite nice. It lets them choose the breakout that they're in where you're still able to see and hear each other in the main room. And that one is called Choose Breakout. So if I select Choose Breakout, what you'll see is we get the breakout list, but we still get the video feed in the main room, so people can say, I'm going to go into 1, you go into 2, where do we go? And I can just show you here that both the participant and I can select, and if you need to leave, like say, oops, I don't want to go into this test, I want to go into test 3, I can click leave and then choose. And then once everybody's kind of selected, then we can, then you can again go to the menu and select open breakouts, and then that will put everybody into the breakout. So let me put myself and the test user into the one breakout, and if I click open breakouts now, you're going to see we go straight from the selection screen into the breakouts themselves. So that's my favorite way to do it, but you can really do it either way. And there's a lot more to talk about as far as the breakouts go, but I'm going to keep that for another video. We'll just kind of talk more in that second video about the different ways to get in and out elegantly and some of the things you can do if there's any problems. Adios.